Out my window, grabbing onto some cables on the building, swinging over to the fire escape. The fire escape door wouldn't open in the hallway. By that time, the flames were going through the hallway like a blast furnace. So I barely made it out. And as I was climbing out my window, a gentleman jumped from the 5th floor right past me.
An absolutely terrifying ordeal for that man and many others who barely escaped the intense flames, but their lives were rescued by firefighters from the apartment building along J Street in downtown Schenectady. And the fate of one person still unknown at this hour. Another rushed to a burn unit at Westchester Medical Center. It's all happening just across the street from City Hall, which is closed for the day as firefighters still tackling some hot spots. We have team coverage on this major story. Our crews have been out there all morning getting the latest information for us. News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen talking with shaken victims who were moved to a shelter and are receiving help from the Red Cross now. But we begin with News 10 ABC's Rachel Yankunis, who is live at what is still an active scene. Rachel, bring us up to speed here. The fire under control, but still not entirely out?
That is right, Christina. There are some hot spots. It's been nearly 10 hours now since the fire broke out, and crews are still working tirelessly here on scene. A devastating day for the families who lost practically everything, but also for the firefighters who have been working tirelessly in freezing temperatures. Just take a look at the mess here on J Street. Pretty much everything is covered in ice, and the building, much of it is destroyed. Now, it is too early to determine a cause, but as of early this morning, at least one person is still unaccounted for. Vicious flames rip through these apartments on J Street in downtown Schenectady. A fire so big you can see it billowing over City Hall 3 blocks away. This blazing inferno broke out around 2 o'clock this morning with people still inside. Fire crews rescued some residents, others got out on their own. But one man had jumped from a 5th-story window, breaking his back and suffering internal injuries. In total, 7 people are hospitalized. One was taken to the burn unit at Westchester Medical Center. The remaining residents spill into the street, watching in shock as flames rip apart their homes. Hours later, the sun comes up and the damage is clear. The top floors are gutted and charred. You can see just how much water was needed to fight this stubborn fire by the looks of these cars. Almost everything is covered in a thick sheet of ice, and large icicles even hang from power lines. But there is still one person unaccounted for. I asked Schenectady Fire Chief Ray Senecal for more information on that, but he says he won't have an update until after the fire is out.
So we really got a whole lot of nothing other than it's going to go to the commissioner. We're still pretty tied up in fire suppression.
Still very tied up indeed. Firefighters have been dumping water on this home since 2 o'clock in the morning nonstop. That is how stubborn this fire is. Now, Commissioner Wayne Bennett says he will not have an update until sometime later this afternoon. He is meeting with all of the department heads right now, and then after that, it is expected that more information on that person still unaccounted for and more information will come out on what could have caused this massive fire. Live in Schenectady, I'm Rachel Yankunis, News 10 ABC.
All right.
Schenectady fire officials say they still believe one person is unaccounted for after this massive fire on J Street in Schenectady, and several others remain in the hospital.
And I see the firing. I try to put in the safe something in my store, but I don't have it tied.
When the massive fire broke out around 2 a.m., Benjamin Morales was in his first-story store working on his taxes. Disregarding the fire alarms, it took a call from his mother-in-law for him to look outside.
I see firing in this corner, the other building. But after this, the window is so hard, so I start to come in my building. And the fire is taking so fasting.
We have 7 people in the hospitals, 1 at Albany Med, 5 at Ellis, and 1 in Westchester County Medical Center. We had 1 individual jump from the 5th floor.
Fire crews had to battle single-digit temperatures while trying to combat a fire that quickly spread to 3 apartment buildings, displacing at least 25 people.
They've relocated them to a church up on State Street. With they're devastated. They've lost all their property.
I really is sad.
Benjamin escaped the fire with only his medicine, and although he lost everything in his business, he knows he's lucky to be alive.
It's very bad. It's sad to see other people. It's sad for me. I lose everything. I can go in. I can save nothing from my store.
The victim that was taken to Westchester Medical Center, their condition is unknown right now. The other victims, including the man who jumped from the fifth-story building, is expected to survive. That's all we know right now. Back to you, Julie.
And Barry, they did close down City Hall today and used it basically as a warming shelter. Was that it?
Well, Julie, initially in the wee hours of the morning, they were using it for first the residents and then for the fire crews. And now, as the fire crews have started to leave, now it's closed off as they try to get the roads around City Hall clear. But those roads are expected to be closed for the remainder of the day.
Our Barry Weimel reporting for us in Schenectady.
Flames shot into the sky in Schenectady overnight as 3 buildings across the street from City Hall burned. That's where Ben Amy has been all morning, and he joined us now with the very latest. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon, Kelly. The fire is out here on J Street, but it took the entire Schenectady City Fire Department several hours to get the flames under control.
Again, we're going to be here for a long time. It's going to be a long day.
Flames rose from the 100 block of J Street in Schenectady around 2 this morning. Fire shot from windows and rooftops, spreading quickly as people slept.
We have 7 people in the hospitals, 1 at Albany Med, 5 at Ellis, and 1 in Westchester County Medical Center.
One of the people injured actually leapt from a 5th floor window to escape the flames.
He was rescued by a sergeant from the police department who loaded him in the police car and took him to the hospital. He has a broken back and some internal injuries.
The man's condition is not known. Bennett says he believes all the other injuries are non-life-threatening. Single-digit temperatures and sub-zero wind chills also hampered firefighter efforts.
The appreciation everybody's got to have for the firefighters is they can't leave. So they're spelling each other now, which is good, but the downside of that is when you warm up, you got to go back in the cold again.
Those temperatures also froze the water crews used to douse the flames, turning J Street into a sheet of ice.
And any of the streets around City Hall, probably for all of today, are going to be closed. There's going to be a lot of inconvenience traffic-wise, but there's nothing we can do to help that.
Now, crews are still dousing the buildings with water 10 hours after the fire started. City Hall is closed today because of the fire. 1 person still remains unaccounted for at this time. Reporting in downtown Schenectady, Ben Amy, News Channel 13.